get right to it. Fight number one, tail of the tape. Lucas SantaMaria and Devon Alexander. The big discrepancy, as you can see right there at the top, and that is the age. Alexander is 34, and Luke SantaMaria is only 23. SantaMaria says he watched Alexander as a kid on TV. Alexander, a former legitimate champion of the world, 34 years old, on a bad run, but says he's revitalized and ready to go tonight. We are ready as well. Let us go to the ring and Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. From the Armory here in beautiful Minneapolis, Minnesota, Premier Boxing Champions presents a big night of action coming your way. It's Fox PBC Fight Night. And we extend a special welcome to the brave men and women serving around the world and joining us tonight on AFN, the American Forces Network. Now we introduce our three judges scoring this opening attraction from ringside. We have Mike Fitzgerald, Patrick Morley, and Tim Taggart. All right, fans, here we go with our opening attraction. Super welterweights in the ring. We're scheduled 10 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the red corner. Entering the ring wearing flame print trunks and fighting out of Garden Grove, California. He weighed in at 148 1/2 pounds. With a record of 11 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, he has 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing Luke SantaMaria. And his opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white trunks with neon green trim, fighting out of and representing his home of St. Louis, Missouri. He weighed in at 154 pounds. His record stands at 27 wins, 6 losses, and 1 draw, with 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, returning to the ring, here is the former 2-division champion of the world, introducing Devon Alexander the Great. And our three in charge, now to give instructions, Mark Nelson.
Gentlemen, you had your instructions in the dressing room. You both know what I expect. A good, clean fight. Just obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck to both of you.
Closed captioning is available for tonight's telecast. And if you'd like to hear the broadcast in Spanish, you can click over to the simulcast on the Fox Deportes app. Brian Kenny, Lennox Lewis, Joe Goosen, along with Heidi Andral, Marcos Villegas will take care of the scoring, the unofficial scoring for us as well. And there's young Luke SantaMaria, 23 years old. And there's Devon Alexander. I don't want to say he's old. Joe Goosen, I'm surprised he's just 34. He's been, on the world scene for a long, long time.
Hasn't he? And he's fought everybody. But I got to tell you, just looking at him right now, he's put together really well, Devon Alexander. He's filled out. He's a grown man. He's 34. And look, he's going to be strong. He may not be as quick as he once was, but he may prove me wrong there, but he certainly looks really strong.
And he is in tough tonight. Again, when we first heard of this matchup, and look, Devon Alexander is coming off a knockout loss where he was outlanding Ivan Redkach in June of 2019, but he hasn't fought since then. It was the first time he'd been knocked out. He was outlanding, he was outpointing Redkach, but he got caught with an uppercut, got caught with a hook, and he got stopped, and you start to think, well, maybe it's the end of the line. And then he has put in Lennox against this kid, Luke SantaMaria, who is a hard-working, tough kid. And we've seen him at his best against Michael Fox, winning a fight in a real shootout only a few months ago.
Oh, absolutely. And in that fight, he showed great heart and great toughness. He showed great combinations in that bout as well, and beat Fox.
Wide on the scorecards. We thought it was close, but SantaMaria certainly looked great. Anyway, again, matchmaking-wise, they're not giving Devon Alexander some gimme fight here, and hey, let's let him get his legs and we can trade off his name. They're putting him in tough. He's going to have to work hard, be at his best to win this fight tonight. SantaMaria probing there with the right hand to the body.
Yeah, SantaMaria's never been in there with a fighter like Devon Alexander, but look, SantaMaria's got a lot of talent. He's an up-and-coming fighter. He beat Michael Fox, who's a tough out, tall 6'4" southpaw. And, SantaMaria is really tricky. He spent about a month out at my gym just recently sparring with Sergey Lipinets, preparing him for his fight. And let me just tell you something. When he comes to the gym and works, he's got all sorts of tricks in his bag.
Don't
I think
punch.
he's going to use them tonight. Plus, he switches up left-handed, right-handed. He could pose a problem for Devon Alexander tonight.
Well, you can see the work ethic, Joe. It's not a shock that he works hard in the gym. I mean, he looks hungry. He fought hungry against Michael Fox. We're going to see Fox coming up next. He's in the next bout. He is a 6'4" welterweight, and SantaMaria just threw every shot he could for hard rounds and earned a good decision, a clear decision actually, according to the judges. Comes off a loss. That was a close decision, which was also walked on the scorecards to Paul Kroll last October. That was another tight, hard-fought battle.
Yeah, Kroll was 8-0, undefeated at the time, and he still is. And it was a very close fight. It could have gone either way. We thought it was basically a draw, if maybe 1 point separating the fight either way for either guy, but it was a tough fight. So SantaMaria, again, whether it's a young undefeated guy or a guy like Michael Fox who had 20 some odd fights, he went in there and won that fight. So he's very, he's not an easy out. Again, like I said, SantaMaria, but he's in there with a guy, Devon Alexander, who's been in with all the greatest fighters in the world in the past, 20 years. So
yeah, we'll list them for you. SantaMaria, by the way, had said the first round will probably be slow, and it has been. As we see the punches landed, there's only a handful, but he said, I've got to get the rhythm and the timing down. He tries there with the hook against the very experienced Devon Alexander. We're through one. Heidi Androl is standing by, and I know Alexander looks good there, but a little overweight. Heidi, what do we know?
That's right, Brian. As we know in boxing, occasionally fighters will come in overweight. Devon Alexander did this week, but he knew it, and he reached out to Luke SantaMaria, and they agreed to a contracted weight of 154 pounds on Thursday. Now, Mike Stafford is in his corner, and he's a longtime supporter of Devon Alexander. He's known him since the amateurs, but this is the first time he's cornering him. I asked him what he likes about Devon coming into this fight, and he said he's happy. He's happy for the first time. That's not something that he was in his fights of late, and he told me that it was attributed to finding himself. He needed to take that 2 years off and work on the mental side of things. He's done that, and they believe that is going to be the difference here tonight.
Heidi, thank you so much. Yeah, he had 2 years away from the sport, battling addiction to painkillers. Again, boxers put their bodies through an awful lot, and Devon fell by the wayside. He's gotten himself back here. And he said, Lennox, you've been through this. It's funny, a lot of fighters say, I'm happy now, I'm at my best, I'm relaxed. But he then went on to say, as we start round number 2, I'm more relaxed, more aware, and when I'm relaxed, I can see everything. And that makes sense if you're a boxer-puncher like Alexander.
Yeah, it does, and he's definitely coming in looking happy. He's got a good rhythm, and he feels good about himself, and that's great. Once a boxer feels good about himself and wants to get in there and box, this is his home, is the ring, and that's what he misses.
I mean, your vision is everything there. When you've got to be relaxed on kind of an autopilot, can't be thinking, have to be fluid, and he sees the punches much better. And again, for a guy who is a slick boxer, as Alexander is, you've got to be able to move your head, counter with shots. And as we mentioned, he's been in there with the best in the world. At one point, considered to be one of the very top talents in the sport, 140-pound champion, and a fighter on track, we thought, to be a pound-for-pound fighter. That didn't quite happen. But still, an amazing resume through the years. Right hand there by SantaMaria.
Yeah, that's the second right hand SantaMaria's thrown since the bell rang. The first one he threw was a counter off of a jab from Devon Alexander. He tried to counter with the right hand. So he's looking to step. Oh! Devon got
Right, don't punch.
SantaMaria with a good right hook along the ropes. I don't think SantaMaria should be sitting on the ropes, to tell you the truth. I don't mind him pressing, but don't sit on the ropes.
That was a nice exchange as they finally started to clash there, and we'll see. I would think, Joe, and now maybe I'm wrong, maybe Alexander's hand speed is that much better, but SantaMaria made Michael Fox in that fight look kind of slow, and he was good on the inside. I guess the equation is just very different here, right? Different fighter.
Yeah, I think SantaMaria caught Michael Fox off guard, to tell you the truth, because he came out like gangbusters, put the pressure on Fox right away, dropped him in the first round.
Be careful.
And you see Devon Alexander is a different fighter. He's a much more experienced fighter. He's been in there with the greatest. So he's going to try to put his experience all over SantaMaria here and look to counter punch and use his speed and his experience to outwit him. And it's going to be SantaMaria's job to throw a wrench into that gear. And right now he's starting to pick up the pace a little bit. And I think you're going to see a lot more action in the next couple rounds.
Yeah, and I would say, Devon Alexander, I love how he's jittery right now. He came in jittery. That means, he's using his speed and he's trying to, line up SantaMaria with that right hook.
And Brian, I might throw in there one other thing. you see the size difference in Devon Alexander right now. He came in at 54. They were contracted at 47 to begin with. The contract moved up and down with weights. But remember, you weigh in the day before the fight, so if you weigh in at 54, he's most likely in his 60s right now, and I guarantee Lucas SantaMaria is not.
Yeah, SantaMaria, again, you know, you've got a choice. You can take a little piece out of the other fighder. In terms of the purse, you could turn away the fight. SantaMaria, not that type of guy, says, no, I got Alexander, I'll take him. And we're through two, just missed that hook.
Here we go. We're going to show a little replay of when SantaMaria got hung up on the ropes. But look, that hook from Devon Alexander was an open palm punch. It really didn't have the big effect as if he had his knuckles turned and the palm turned in with the knuckles landing solidly. So it was more of a graze and open palm punch. Not effective, but it landed.
Round number 3, and not much has landed so far for either fighter. They're both trying to get into their rhythm. They haven't established any dominance over either fighter as of yet. Alexander looks fairly sharp. SantaMaria's punch rate certainly has gone down as, again, he is facing a very different puzzle here in Devon Alexander, who is not there to be hitting the head cleanly.
No.
It's a 300 amateur wins, Joe, been against the top champions in the world. He's not standing right in front of you.
Look, he looks in great shape, I have to tell you. But one thing that was said in his corner by Mike Stafford, he said he's trying to time your jab with his right hand, which I had pointed out the round before. So Mike Stafford told him use a double jab to stop that right hand counter coming off of that single jab where he can time it.
But a good thing Devon Alexander's doing is throwing the right jab to the chest. He's not even trying for the head because SantaMaria may duck into it. So that's a good place to place his right jab.
Did you ever do that yourself?
Oh, absolutely. The guys that duck a lot,
yeah,
I usually aim for their chest so they duck right into my punches.
Makes sense.
Good. Yeah, that's good technical information. And Joe, that I love when a trainer gives the fighter something specific to do. Not, hey, I need more out of you. It's like, do this.
Yeah,
it's better.
You're right. And the fact is that, trainers think alike because that's what I had pointed out earlier is that he countered it twice off the single jab. So Mike Stafford saw the same thing. You're right. I think giving too much information in the corner really can confuse a fighter and they tune you out. Keep it simple. I think that's great advice.
SantaMaria able to land with that right hand. He's having difficulty just finding the range, getting in close enough. He's trying to jab his way in. Didn't work the first time around, just a few seconds ago, but it worked there and there again. But he's trying to find a home for that right hand to the body.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I think Devon Alexander likes the fact that SantaMaria is playing this game from the outside, to tell you the truth. Because every time they get in close, if you notice, Devon Alexander is more than happy to tie up SantaMaria, even push him down on his back and on his head. It's like Devon really doesn't want to play that game on the inside, at least for the moment. So if I were SantaMaria, I'd try to get in closer because he's not winning this game from the outside right now.
Good point. Misses with the jab there. Alexander seems to be the one who's established his distance here. He is comfortable and in the pocket. You know, he had said to us that he wanted to dictate things in there. He wanted to be the dictator, literally. Like, whoa. He's been outlanded, though, so far, but it's pretty close. We're going to step aside here for a moment. We're through 3 rounds, and we'll find out what Marcos Villegas is saying on his scorecard. Devon Alexander lost his junior welterweight unification to Tim Bradley in 2011. And then he lost at welterweight to a rising Tim Bradley, but through his career, there are quality top 10 wins as we start round number 4. And we're talking Chop Morley, Junior Witter, Juan Urango, Andre Kotelnik, Lucas Matisse, Marcos Maidana, Randall Bailey, Lee Purdy. Again, the quality top 10 opponents, Joe Goosen, one fight after another. And a lot of those are wins in between those losses.
And let me tell you something. Randall Bailey, Matisse, and what was the other one? What was the first one?
There's Maidana, there's Juan Urango, Junior Witter.
But just those last two, I mean, Matisse and Bailey was an incredible fighter. What a puncher he was. So,
one of the best. I mean, Matisse marched through 140 until he went up against Danny Garcia in what was kind of a super fight at the time. So, it's, Joe, even as I look back on it, I thought, wow, good uppercut jumping in is from SantaMaria. I really thought, wow, this guy has good wins. And that would be a shame if we remember him for the losses and not the wins.
Exactly. Look, I mean, when you fight that type of quality of fighter, you're bound to lose here and there. There's very rare people in this game, besides Mayweather, who can go undefeated when you fight that type of quality of opponent. And you know, he's no different than anyone else that's made it big. You're going to have your wins and losses, just like Pacquiao. You know, when he lost to Marquez, came back, and he's done wonderful things since then. Came back and won the title again. So, you know, it's a rough game, and it's hard to beat a guy when they want to beat you.
Round number 4. Let's see what Marcos Villegas is saying. Marcos, kind of a tough fight to score. You're concentrating on it, so you tell us.
Yeah, it's been a good competitive fight thus far. The first 2 rounds I gave to Devon Alexander. I felt SantaMaria was kind of feeling him out, not really throwing much. But I think in the last round, that round 3, he did some good work to the body that made me go ahead and give him that last round. This round right here, I'm favoring towards SantaMaria, but let's see how it unfolds with a minute left.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. SantaMaria is picking his spots right now, and he's moving in, and he's not getting caught when he comes in, and when he comes out, he's not getting caught too. He's picking his moments.
Yeah, it's not turned into a firefight as of yet, and that is not how we've seen SantaMaria in his last 2 fights, which have been, again, fan favorites, outstanding, just throwing hands. Devon Alexander, with his skill, high level of, again, world-class skill. I mentioned 300 amateur wins, U.S. national amateur champion, legitimate world champion at 140. You can't just come out and throw your hands. You know, he will counter, and even though he's a boxer, as he comes in now and starts to trade, he is not a feather duster. He will hit you hard enough to make you pay.
Yeah, I mean, Devon Alexander is doing the right thing right now, because what he needs to do is follow up with his punches, not allow SantaMaria to come in and throw a punch and not answer that punch.
So that was a good rhythm there for a few seconds for Devon Alexander. We'll see if we can get a little more in the next round. Back in Minneapolis, PBC here on Fox. Brian Kenny, Lennox Lewis, Joe Goosen, Heidi Endrol, Marcos Villegas. We're underway a night of welterweights. Devon Alexander, former world champion, taking on 23-year-old Luke SantaMaria. And a reasonably close fight. You can see the copy box numbers right there. Punches landed 29-26 in favor of SantaMaria. He tries with the right hand. That was blocked. Devon Alexander got in a nice rhythm in that last round. And Joe Goosen, CopyBox also charts how much of the fight is fought in close and how much at distance, and they say 92% of this fight is from distance. So who does that favor?
Well, obviously Devon Alexander. That's what I pointed out a few rounds ago. If he could keep this at arm's length, he's going to love this fight. And you got to remember, SantaMaria had his best efforts when he got inside on Michael Fox and upset the apple cart. He's having a hard time getting in to Devon Alexander. In fact, he's getting backed up most of the fight here, which I think is a mistake. Look, we're in the 5th round. We're halfway through this fight, and I've given Devon Alexander pretty much every round so far. So I think it's up to SantaMaria to really make a different move and get inside and try to rough up Devon Alexander, who doesn't want to take part in that type of fight right now.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, go ahead, Lennox.
I was going to say, styles make fights, and SantaMaria looked a lot better against Fox because Fox was tall, and he knew he had to get in on the inside. Now with Devon Alexander, he still needs to get on the inside, but he's taking his time about it because he's afraid of Devon's punches.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of this, too, we expected SantaMaria because he has such a work rate. He came in and chopped up Michael Fox. I mean, he dropped him early in that fight. He put on constant pressure. He's 11 years younger, and again, Alexander is an older 34. So I did not expect SantaMaria to come in here and be moving away, as we see there, from Devon Alexander, but that's what we're seeing.
Well, again, I think Alexander's using all of his experience, all of his skills to dictate, as he said, from the outside. He's using that arm's distance, and he's being very successful with it.
You know, there's a lot of ways of looking at things. You could say, hey, Devon Alexander, he hasn't won since 2017. He's 0-2-1 in his last 3. But one of those losses was a controversial loss, which many people thought he won against Andre Berto. He had a draw with Victor Ortiz. And that fight against Ivan Redkach, where, again, he got starched, he got knocked out late in the fight. But he was outlanding Redkach throughout the first 5 rounds. So there's a lot of ways of looking at it. You could say, oh, Devon Alexander, come on, he's shot. Well, he said he was revitalized, and, he's a much better fighter, but he was never so far off the track. I mean, again, you can say it, you might think that, but there's another way of looking at it. Possibly Alexander he got a bunch of head breaks, was not at his best, and tonight against a young, hungry 23-year-old, he's kind of showing him the way.
Yeah, look, I really feel SantaMaria, though, is making a big mistake by not getting in close and trying to rough up Devon. I think he could have some success if he did it.
Yeah, well, we're through 5. He's got a ways to go, but he's going to have to take a chance. Back here in Minneapolis, and I want to point out one thing. We're starting to see, like, there's a lack of success for Luke SantaMaria against the veteran Devon Alexander. SantaMaria in the red trunks, and Alexander, the veteran former world champion, in neon green and white. But you see the punches landed are still in favor of SantaMaria. So, Lennox, you tell me, like, is Alexander taking control of this fight, or is it more a lack of success for SantaMaria? Like, if you're scoring it, or who's getting the better of it, what are you smelling there ringside?
I would say a lack of control by SantaMaria, because, you know, SantaMaria needs to do a lot more, try a lot more, and be a lot more braver, and move in and try and box inside.
Brian, if you didn't see those punch stats there, we didn't have them on the screen, who would you say was in control of this
Alexander.
fight?
Yeah, Devon Alexander looks like he's in control.
So
exactly. No, you're right, Joe. And I'm wondering now, but are the judges having this conversation? No, they're not. But in their own heads, are they thinking the same way we are? I always wonder about that.
But see, the judges don't have the screen in front of us with those punch stats. They're looking at it, and, you know, the main judging criteria is who is in charge of, who's in control of the ring right now. And it certainly looks like Devon Alexander is having his way.
Yeah, good right hand there by SantaMaria. I agree with you, Joe. There, and a nice shot on the way in. Although the offense is stifled, I'll give you this, and this is great. Good work from CompuBox. SantaMaria, as we mentioned, very active in his last 2 fights. He averaged 63 punches per round. Tonight, he's averaging 29 punches thrown per round. So again, against a superior boxer, Devon Alexander, he's been able to take the air out of the ball on SantaMaria and reduce the volume.
Exactly, and there it goes back to what he said he wanted to dictate. He is dictating the pace of this fight, the distance of this fight, and the rhythm of this fight right now.
Oh, slapped him with a hook. SantaMaria got that on the way out.
Yeah.
It reminds me too, Joe, it's like, you know, many fighters look one way. Good uppercut there by SantaMaria, trying something on the inside. And then they fight Floyd Mayweather, and you say, how come he's not throwing punches? Well, you just can't. Against a guy who's a defensive, you know, very good defensive fighter, it's just not easy just to walk in and throw the same volume.
You're exactly right, and Devon Alexander's making it difficult, but what he's doing now is he's kind of walking down SantaMaria and giving him an opportunity, like that left hook he just got clipped with. I think he should just keep boxing, circling SantaMaria and boxing and keeping it at arm's length. Don't try to go in there and do something different with what's been winning this fight. Get out of this fight clean. It's your first fight back in a long time. Win it any which way you can, but don't give SantaMaria an opportunity by letting him catch you with those type of punches like he did Ivan Redkach.
And Alexander there able to wrestle him there. Go ahead, Lennox.
Yeah, you're right, because Alexander is not doing the work he's supposed to. Is allowing SantaMaria to get off first, and that's a mistake. He needs to get off first right now.
We're going to keep it right here, and we'll go into the corners here. What the corner will be saying to these fighters. Again, you wonder, does SantaMaria need a new plan? So we'll listen in.
You hear me? You're chasing. You don't have to chase him. Chase him with the jab. You hear me? Chase him with the jab, okay? Quick jab. Put them feet down. Breathe, breathe. Breathe. How you feel? How you feel? Well, show me something, man. Come on, show me something. You gotta show me a little more. You gotta show these judges a little more. You got, hey, pick it up a little more. Come on. All right, you ain't doing, I'm telling you double jab, and you're not doing it, okay? Double jab, throw it, and back him up in the corner. You know what I'm saying? You're letting him get out of the corner. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's doing. And you got to start turning it under. You're going over top too much, you're missing it. When he come to you, start throwing that shove. We practice that. Okay? Yeah. All right, let's go. Be ready for that. Okay? Yeah. Whip it, the whip.
There's Mike Stafford in the corner there with Devon Alexander. And Joe Goosen, you asked him when we had our fighter meetings this week, do you still think you can do great things? And he answered very quickly. He said, absolutely. So he believes he can still compete at the highest level.
Yeah, and you know, right now, you might say, well, SantaMaria isn't at the highest level right now, but it's about the performance of Devon Alexander to see if he is still showing that he can rise to a place where he could fight a contender, somebody that's, you know, maybe a better quality than SantaMaria, who's a very good quality.
Right.
But again, is this where it ends for Devon Alexander? Is this the top of the limit that he's going to face, or can he go forward and fight some of the top-rated guys in this division?
Right. He needs a win. He needs a and this. Anyone who's following the sport knows. Hey, that if he beat Luke SantaMaria, it's a nice win. You can't just be an old guy just in there, borrowing off your name.
Right.
You have to get in shape. You have to be at your best. And Devon Alexander looks pretty good tonight. I'm not saying he's ready to challenge Errol Spence after Spence can get by Pacquiao.
Right.
But he could be a good opponent for a lot of those top. Actually, Joe was going to say top 10 right now in the welterweights. There's like a good top 15.
Yes.
Of stars.
And that's what I was alluding to. You put it well, Brian. But I will say this. Look, and believe me, in SantaMaria's defense, he's really a good up-and-coming fighter. Okay? And, he's a quality opponent right now for Devon Alexander. But Devon Alexander, I think, if he continues to do what his corner told him, use that double jab, kind of back him up, but without really getting inside, just keep him at the end of your punches like that, I think he's going to, do just fine on the scorecards here.
Heidi Androl is on a report from the corner. Heidi?
I was over in SantaMaria's corner, and he told me that when Devon Alexander throws that right, he wants him to step to the left, pivot out. He wants him to throw more combinations and go after him. He was letting him get the best of him in the earlier rounds. This is where he wants to pick it up and go to the body. Brian?
All right, Heidi, thank you. Lennox, we've heard a lot of advice. How difficult is it to do that? We hear either from what SantaMaria needs to do, or in Devon's corner was, hey, you're not doubling up on the jab. You tell us how easy it is mid-fight to make these adjustments.
Well, SantaMaria is a hard guy to catch. Devon's trying. He's putting on the pressure. He's right there, but SantaMaria keeps on getting off first and moving. So it's definitely a difficult guy to catch and to corner.
It's all right. You good? Okay.
And round number 7 is scheduled for 10. Devon Alexander looks like he's in pretty good shape. If Luke SantaMaria is losing rounds here, he's not too far away in the fight to reclaim it. Again, we do not know what the judges are thinking right now.
No, but you heard Javier Capetillo tell him, you got to be more aggressive. You got to get more things done here. So he's a little concerned.
Work rate is down, success rate is down, and we're through 7 rounds in Minneapolis.
You gotta tackle him to the bottom. When he comes in, hit him to the bottom when he's coming in. So they really hurt him, all right?
Javier Capetillo in the corner there with Lucas SantaMaria. He likes to be called Luke now, so if we're going back and forth, that's why. But SantaMaria, good young fighter, 23 years old, on the rise in the welterweight division. And a very hard-working guy. There's no question. He's been in the last 2 fights we've seen on our air, on Fox and on FS1. He's been willing to get into firefights, but he's just unable to be able to get. You see, even throwing the punches there, he's way too far to be touching Devon Alexander's scoring zone to his face, his body. But he's throwing punches from the outside, and Joe, he just can't bridge that gap.
See, and the 2 words that you heard from Javier Capetillo was attack and body.
Yeah,
we haven't seen that.
Right, he was doing that in the first few rounds, and he kind of came away from that. So his trainers definitely reminded him to get back to the body because he was really successful there.
Lennox, you asked him in the fighter meetings too. You said, do you have music in your head? I don't see any music in SantaMaria's head tonight.
No, not at all.
Lennox, did you have music in your head?
Oh, all the time.
What was playing?
Some upbeat music,
Now, in all fairness, Bri, SantaMaria landed 2 good straight right hands to the body, and so he's trying to pull that off. They were long shots. They weren't in close. And I wouldn't call it an attack. That's sort of an attack, but look what Devon Alexander does. He wraps that arm around your head. He pushes down on your shoulders and head. He's really experienced at tying you up, and I think that's a smart move for him. Let's get, for him, if I was in his corner, I'd go, let's just get this fight, get out of this fight safe and sound. Don't get hit with anything stupid. Let's get that win, and we'll move forward from here.
Let's go to Marcos Villegas, whose scorecard is right there, and he's got it pretty close. What do you have, Marcos?
Yeah, Brian, I got it 66-67 with that swing round in round number 5. Look, this fight's pretty close, and not a lot of punches of consequences have been landed by both fighters. I'm just wondering here if the judges are going to give credit to the counter-punching and the body attack of SantaMaria. And the other thing, too, is, Devon's the one that's been coming forward, but has he been effective, or at least more effective, with what he's been throwing at SantaMaria, and then what SantaMaria is countering him with.
Marcos, thank you. And look, we tried to, on this telecast, give you an idea of what's happening in the ring, and then the possibilities of what's happening with the judges, because that's how it's scored, that's how it's done, that's how you determine a winner. And so, you know, I'm having a conversation with Joe Goosen, Lennox Lewis, and we can get into a consensus very quickly. A judge might be on a completely different planet, and that's why, again, I love that Marcos now has SantaMaria leading. He is just scoring the rounds, that's all he's doing, and you know, all these things can be true, Joe, where the ring generalship goes to Alexander, but how many punches are actually landed? This could be a very close fight.
I will say this is SantaMaria's best round for me, okay? He's having his best success right now, and it is when he's moving forward. And so, you know, if it is close on the judges' card, I mean, look, this is a round that SantaMaria may need desperately.
And we are seeing a little more activity from SantaMaria. He was switching up lefty, throwing uppercuts. He's starting to open up as we finish up round number 8 in Minneapolis. There's our main event fighter, Eimantas Stanionis of Lithuania. He says a fighter must leave it all in the ring, so there's no questions. And if you've seen this young man fight, he's only 26, former amateur star out of Lithuania, you know he's not just talking. He does leave it all in the ring. Good fighter, good young fighter. Could be in the top 10 very soon in the welterweight division. Here, round number 9, scheduled for 10, and Lucas SantaMaria starting to pick up the pace in the last couple of rounds.
Hands-free, guys.
We mentioned he's thrown about 28 punches, 29 punches per round in the early going. Now he's up to 45 and 49 punches per round. And maybe, Joe, I know you like what you saw in round number 8.
I like what I saw in round number 8, and I like what I'm seeing now, except for I don't think that SantaMaria should be backing off. And look, here's what he did last round. He landed a back shot right there. He landed several right hands to the body. He slipped that counter left hand from Devon Alexander. So, look, I mean, I just think that's what I expect to see from SantaMaria. This is our 3rd fight that we've called from him. And it's, you know, so we know what to expect from him.
Yeah.
And we're finally getting it later on in the fight, as far as I'm concerned. And, you know, I think it would serve him well if he kept the pressure on and tried to rough him up and impress the judges that we're trying to make a brawl of this thing. And you may get lucky and land a shot like that and kick right there. Close the gap.
Yeah, I mean, SantaMaria is doing the right thing right now. He's switching up, showing different angles, and this is what we expected from him.
Don't punch. Be careful.
From the southpaw stance and the orthodox stance, but it's being very successful with it right now.
You've got 3 minutes. Sorry, Pride. Just one thing. You've got 3 minutes to work with, and I just don't like to see a guy waste time here. There's a few seconds there, moving around, wasting time. You should spend every second of this trying to really put the hurt on Devon Alexander from SantaMaria.
I was just thinking, Joe, as I'm watching, you're talking, it's like, oh, this is getting exciting all of a sudden. It's been at a high level, but it hasn't been, they haven't mixed it up. And just there, they just, you know, SantaMaria's going to have to decide. I'm going to throw, and I might get caught with something on the other side, but I would think he is, I think it's more possible he's down on the cards. I don't know if that's the case, but I think it's more possible.
Yeah.
And he's got to be thinking that way.
I would agree. And that's why, again, his corner said attack, because he hasn't been attacking.
Stop!
And Alexander too. Joe, you bring this up a lot. It's not like, you know, Alexander's strong enough. He's a strong guy in there, but it's not like he is Randall Bailey with like, hey, one shot I will start you. He isn't that guy. So you have to move in.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, look, he's a 50-50 knockout puncher at best.
Yeah. Missing. Alexander moving his head, moving out of harm's way as SantaMaria tries to hit him. So he's trying to be aggressive, but he's catching air.
Alexander needs to answer with those punches. He can't allow SantaMaria just to throw the punches like that, because that's going to look good for the judges.
There's what I wanted to see from SantaMaria. See, that's that awkwardness. He went right-handed, then he switched to left-handed and landed a right uppercut left-handed. It was sneaky, it was quick, and it was really smart.
He's had success with that, Joe, now back-to-back rounds. He was able to get into that rhythm and disrupt Devon Alexander. Let's keep it here and go back to Alexander's corner. Last round coming up.
Round, man. You gotta win this round, okay? You bullshit, man. Come on. Come on, man. See how you feel. Here, sit back. You let him back in this fight, man. Come on. Get your damn hands up, man. Keep your hands up and go behind your jab. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? He ain't doing nothing but throwing the wild punches, and you walking right into him. Yeah. Let's go, man. Come on. Breathe.
Nice job. Touch
you walking
gloves.
right into that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You done stop jabbing and taking pictures. quit fucking taking
Nice
pictures.
job. Touch him up. Last round, baby.
Let's go. Quit touching pictures, okay? You taking a picture of this guy. Let's go, man. Come on. How you feel?
Good.
Huh?
Good.
You gotta go at him, man, with that jab. Let's go. And start going underneath. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, Lennox Lewis brought that up too. Like, you know, I'd like to, you know, you wanted to see him counterpunch after making him miss all those shots. And you hear in the corner, Mike Stafford, they're saying, don't take pictures of this guy.
Mark Stafford is doing a great job with telling him exactly what to do. Devon Alexander needs to do that.
Final round, let's go to Marcos Villegas. Marcos, how do you have it going into the last round?
As you can see right there, I got SantaMaria winning. You know, the corner Devon Alexander was right to tell him that this fight could be slipping away from him at about round 6-7. It was a very close fight at that point with 1 point. Now with SantaMaria winning these last 2 rounds, I have him up in this fight. So let's see what Devon Alexander is able to do in here in this last round.
Wow, interesting, very interesting. Alexander saying this week as he throws the left hand to the body there and is able to score. Now a good combination to the body from SantaMaria. You know, again, Alexander was at the very top. He was poised to be a pound-for-pound fighter. He was already a world champion. He had some big losses, but he said this week, I'm angry that I didn't spend enough time at the top. I was on top, and that's what's driving this run. He's only 34. Big things are possible, but he really needs to get a win against a guy like Luke SantaMaria to move back up into the upper echelon.
And SantaMaria is he's making the right moves right now. He's getting off first. He's able to throw quick combinations and not get hit.
Final minute and a half coming up here in this fight. We're at a minute 44.
And Bright, you know, Mike Stafford in the corner even told Devon Alexander, and sometimes you do this to a fighter, even if you think they might be slightly ahead, said you need this round. You know, you need this round. He didn't say to win this fight, but he just said you need this round.
Yeah, that's good advice, isn't it, Joe? It doesn't say, you know, don't get knocked out, don't try to knock out. Put your hands free. He acted.
Exactly, and it's good advice because he saw what we saw, that he probably lost those last 2 rounds definitively. I don't think there's any question that SantaMaria won 8 and 9.
They're going to have to pick it up here. SantaMaria tries to the body. Alexander lunges in to nullify that attack.
And
it is difficult. It's difficult to mount some sustained attack against Alexander. He's very slick.
Absolutely true. But I thought he kind of gave Devon Alexander those early rounds and some of the good rounds because he wasn't fighting like this.
Yeah, I agree with you, Joe. Here, you see the punches landed now. It's dead even. Who knows what the judges are thinking? Again, that's a difficult job. And if you think it's easy, give it a shot sometimes. There's a little combination there by SantaMaria, but to be able to discern who won a fight, who scored more scoring blows in a single round, it's very difficult with fighters with world-class hand speed. Final 30 seconds. You can see both fighters will need something here. Let's see who's got it. 23-year-old SantaMaria, the 34-year-old Alexander.
That was a nice hook by SantaMaria, and then a counter hook, right hook from Devon Alexander. So they both on it there, but I think SantaMaria probably put the better hustle on this one.
Now they try with a right hand. SantaMaria throws that, and Alexander holds on to the very bell. And it's going to be interesting. This was an interesting fight. It was not a firefight by any means, but it was competitive. It was interesting. It was a clash of styles between the old boxer and the young tiger. And now the judges will have the final say. Division here, former junior welterweight champion of the world, Devon Alexander, and Lennox and Joe. There wasn't a lot of sustained action. It was in fits and starts.
Right.
So trying to even find some highlights here, it's difficult.
Well, clearly the second half of the fight, SantaMaria, turned up the gas, and especially the last 3, I thought he won clearly. So, look, he had a better second half. I thought Alexander had the better of the first half of the fight. That's what happens with the judges.
Yeah, punch stats there. It's almost dead even. SantaMaria throwing more, landing 1 more, so that's negligible. It's about a dead heat. We said this will be a very interesting decision. Let's find out that decision. Yeah. Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Tim Taggart scores about 97-93. Judges Patrick Morley and Mike Fitzgerald both scored about 98-92. All 3 in favor of the winner, Luke SantaMaria.
Well, we warned you. It's going to go one way or the other, and it could be SantaMaria. That's how Marcos Villegas had it. Lennox, your thoughts on that decision?
Yeah, I thought the decision was right because, SantaMaria was throwing some punches and they were scoring punches. Sometimes when the punch doesn't really hurt, you don't pay attention to it. Like Alexander wasn't really paying attention to those punches, but they were scoring punches and the judges were giving it to SantaMaria. So, this is what can happen.